Hey everybody, Johnny with CA House Music, and today I'm going to show you how to restring an electric guitar. Don't go anywhere. Restring an electric guitar is something that I think everybody should be able to do on their own, and as long as you follow a couple simple guidelines, you're really not going to run into any issues. So today I'm just going to show you how to do a simple restring on a very simple guitar, a Fender Telecaster. Alright, so the first thing we need to do is we need to remove the old strings. I like to keep my hand around so when these cut, they don't go flying out and fling off. Then what you need to do is unwind them from the tuners. Now, be careful when you're doing this. Those little sharp ends on the strings can put digs into the finish up around here. So I like to try to get as close as I can to the peg and pull the strings out. If you start to get into a situation like this where it doesn't want to move, you can come the opposite way. Just be careful again that you're not letting that drag against the finish. Right, so then what I like to do is take the strings, tie them off again so we don't have little frayed ends going anywhere. Those ends are sharp. Again, if you got kids, pets, anything like that, you don't want those floating around later. So tie them all off into a circle and get rid of them. And then since this guitar loads through the back, take all 6 of these and push them through. Same thing, you want to be careful that they don't actually hit the finish, but with these ones, since we cut them, just pull them straight out. I'm going to use the Dunlop 65 lemon oil. Pretty neutral, pretty easy to use. And to apply it, just going to use some regular old paper towels. So the Dunlop lemon oil comes with a little foam top on it, which is nice because that means you can just run it straight down the fretboard like this. For this, I'm using an Ernie Ball 10 to 46. This is the 22221 regular slinkies. You can start with the high or the low string, doesn't matter. I'm going to start with the low. On the back of the guitar, you'll notice you have the ferrules here where the strings go through. So you find, so if you're starting with your low, go through the one that's on the bass side and start to feed the strings through. Now I'm going to show you a little trick that I like to do personally. I need to speed this footage up here so you don't have to watch me string all of these through. So we'll be back in 1 second. All right, now, before we move on to the next step, I'm just going to show you a little trick. So what ends up happening often is when you're restringing a guitar like this, you flip it over and your strings start to fall back through the other end. You can see they kind of pop out a little bit here. This is a little trick I picked up that I like to do, and if you want to try it, by all means, please do. One word of advice, use some kind of tape that is very easy to come back off. Painter's tape, masking tape, something that is not going to chance getting stuck onto the finish. So I will take a little piece of tape and put it right across the ferrules. This is something I like to do. This is something that is not necessary, but I do find this saves me a little bit of time. I'll take my low E. And this is the tuner for the low E, so I will go 2 strings higher to here. That's where I'll make my cut. And you'll see when I start to wind this, it'll be near perfect length. So for this first one, I'm going to go ahead and use a manual string winder. I will switch over to a drill with a bit on the end, but I want to show you guys these as well because I feel like this is often where you're going to start. Take your string, start to feed it through. You want it to come out just a little bit off the edge. Not much, but you want it so that the string, when it starts to wrap around, it will create friction on that. We're going to go with our first wind over and then the rest under. And you'll notice as I'm starting to wind, I'm keeping my finger on my right hand, keeping the string tight. That way it doesn't slip while I'm trying to wind it. And you'll see I'll start to loosen that up as the string tightens. Now I'm going under the excess slack that came through the hole. Now I'll start to guide it through the slot. All right, so don't worry about getting it perfect just yet. We're going to do the rest of the strings and then we're going to tune the guitar. So for now, just make sure you've got some tension on it, something to just hold so it's not going to slip or anything like that. So I'm going to do the same thing across the rest of the 6 strings, going the first wind over the top and then the rest under. And I'm going to pre-cut all of my strings. I'm going to speed this footage up so you don't have to watch me do all of that, but that way you know what I'm doing. All right, so as you can see with those last 2, you run out of space on the end of the fretboard. So I'll just use my finger space as a marker. This doesn't have to be precise. And then using the same method as I did before, first wind over, the rest under. For this one, I'm going to go ahead and use a drill with the string winder bit attached to it. All right, so the strings are now on. So the next step, what we're going to do is we're going to tune and then stretch the strings. All right, for this step, it doesn't need to be in perfect tuning right off the bat because we're going to stretch the strings. What ends up happening when you put a fresh set of strings on a guitar, they start to stretch as they get worn in, and the guitar starts to go out of tune. So you'll notice when you first restring your guitar, you have to tune it a handful of times before it stays. This is going to just help get it there faster. You're not going to stretch them perfectly the first try anytime anyway, but it's very important that you be careful, especially when you get to the higher strings because you can snap them. So what you want to do is grab up on the fretboard, get all of your fingers underneath the string and take your thumb right off to the side. Do the same over here with your thumb and just start to stretch your way up and down. You'll feel it start to loosen almost immediately and then move your way down. Do the rest of the strings. On the plain strings, the G, B, and E, you don't have to stretch them as much. You also want to be very careful because you don't want to snap them. Tune the guitar again. Again, it does not need to be perfect this time. We're just getting the tension close. Do it one more time. And you can repeat that step as many times as you need until the guitar feels good, but at this point, you're ready to start playing. So that's how you restring an electric guitar. Like I said, there's not that much to it. It's not exactly rocket science or rocket surgery, as my mentor Corey would say. And it's something that I think all guitar players can benefit from knowing how to do. Now, you may run into other issues, things like setup, your neck could be bowed, you may want to change string sizes and change tunings. Those kind of things, I would say, go ahead and take it to your tech. But if you're staying in the same tuning and you want to just restring your guitar with the exact same things you're using, that's how you do it. It's a real simple, easy thing to do, and it's a nice way to bond with your instrument and really get to know it. So if you have any questions, drop them down in the comment. I'd be happy to answer. If you want to see any other videos, any more instructional or informative videos like this one, even if it's something a little more involved or something basic, let us know. We'll be happy to make them for you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and hit the thumbs up for us. And if you like everything you're seeing, go ahead and hit subscribe and turn on the notifications. That way you know every time we upload new content. See you next time.